shows ago, we talked about how to choose and use vines in your landscape. Let's talk now about how to control some of these beasts that can really get out of control if you're not paying attention. I want to start with clematis because people love the big purple flowered ones. This happens to be sweet autumn clematis, which is on the invasive species list and wasn't planted here. A lot of the vines that you end up with in your landscape may be a gift from a bird. People will see variegated forms of plants like woodbine or trumpet vine in the garden centers or online. They'll read some of the beautiful attributes of those vines, and then a year or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 years later, we will get the call saying, how do I control this? This is completely out of control. Another one is the bittersweet that we talked about that will sneak its way into other locations, come up and really form a colony. And probably one of the worst ones is a ground cover, because if you think about what vines do, we talk about them sleeping and then creeping and then leaping. Some of the vines, especially many of the ones that climb with their adventitious roots, they'll hit something vertical and they'll go straight up. So this is actually purple leaf winter creeper. What you will see with it is it starts life as a ground cover, and this piece that I pulled up has set down roots at almost every single node. So it's going to creep along the ground, get into all of your landscape beds, and then go vertical. The way we have to control a lot of these aggressive vines like trumpet creeper, if you want them in your landscape, is you have to be aggressive about pruning. Do not let the vines that are supposed to go up decide they want to go out. So watch for all of those horizontal trailing stems. Don't let them root down. Get them out of the landscape as soon as you can. If you are stuck in a situation where they have really taken hold and rooted, pull them up, get them out, prune them off. You may have to resort to herbicides to be able to totally get rid of some of them. And the herbicides have to be a broadleaf, so there are some that are glyphosate as an example. Triclopyr is another one. You may have to resort to what we call the glove of death in some situations, because if you look at a colony of plants like this, you'll see that we have all sorts of plants in here that we might want as vines, and then we have the ones that snuck in. Honeysuckles are another one. We talked about a good honeysuckle that will sort of maintain itself, and then we have one called Hall's or Japanese honeysuckle, the vining form that will absolutely take over. So think in terms of watching those plants in your landscape. The vines are great, but if they get off to a really good start in a place where you don't want them, you're going to have them everywhere.